Chef Chex. It's me, Maya Chef Check, and welcome to another video. Today we have this light up stove that I've made. It lights up like this and it's amazing, and even more amazing in the dark room lit up pink. But it's also amazing with the light, the big light on tree. Look at that. Let's now turn it off for now, because in this video I'm going to attach an oven to the stove. So enjoy. So I picked this cardboard box and I'm going to, there's already a cutout window for it. So I'm going to start with attaching the box to the stove that I've made. So I'm just getting glue onto it so I can make that like 2-in-1 things. I'm applying the glue to the bottom of it. Not the bottom but the top. So I'm just spreading the glue all around. Let's get even more glue. So it could be all glued together. Let's get that glue onto it. And let's spread it. And after that, let's just glue that to the center of this stove. I will add build up to that side. The other does not need build up, so we're off to a good start. And also attaching this tray for markers to it too. So going to add something there. There we go. It kind of opens like an oven in a way it wasn't intended to. But everything will spill out if I try to open it. So there's a warning for that. But you just cannot unsee that now. So I took it out. And I'm just going to make that stationary in there forever. There we go. Much better. This side is assembled, so this side and that side. I just really liked the part 1, so I just thought, why not do part 2 of this? Because I just wanted to see it not just as a stove, but with an oven. And here there will be some kitchen towel rack and the side area that will be just tiles just like this one. Then I added more boxes to it, painted them white for a base for the tiles. So I will be, adding more tiles to this area. So I'm going to make this a full-blown part 2 of this video, just so I could make both parts of it. So let's get something to get the paint on and start painting the gold. Filling of the tiles that I'm going to later decorate. This could take some time to paint, and some layers, but everything has to take time, and I put it on that box to make it easier to paint this thing from certain angles. So, adding the gold paint first before adding the red and pink decorations. The pink and red decorations for the tiles later, but for now I'm just adding all of that in. This is getting painted. So I really liked what I did for the first part, and I really hope it will be good. It would look good whenever I put the secondary part of this project, because I really think that stove was amazing and it deserves an oven part 3 to it. So that's why I'm making this video. It will not be a real oven because I don't want to create heat hazards for it. Just don't want to actually make it too hot, because I first of all don't have the skills that I need to make an actual oven. Second of all, I don't want it to be a burn hazard or anything, because guess it will be for dolls after all. I have seen those easy bake ovens that are ovens for kids, but they do feature a heating element, but it shouldn't, because I know the whole point of an easy bake oven, so children can bake in their toy ovens actually, but it was an actual danger and they got recalled, so that's why such things don't exist anymore, because children can get burns from these types of toys, and I'm not joking, it's true. And you should look it up if you don't know on all the reasons why those easy bake ovens got recalled. But yet some toys were more dangerous than the other toys. But some of these toys could actually avoid the recalls from just children not eating the toys or not trying to eat the toys. But some, they're actually hazards that would not be allowed to be in children's toys today, but I cannot believe it that times can change, but yet magnets in children's toys, well, the magnetic parts got so much recalls that now modern children's toys just avoid magnets altogether, mostly, or altogether, because they don't want young children to be eating magnets too easily. But yet my parents never got me anything any toy that had those elements, because I used to put everything in my mouth, and now I've just grown out of it. But you know, the tiles for these areas. Painting those details on. More gold paint. More. There's holes in there, but I'll figure something out to hide them at one point. Just add more of that paint. I will need to do multiple layers of it. just get that. Very, very carefully trying to get all these nooks and crevices. Then how long was I filming this part? Because I just painted and filmed this and they don't even realize that I got 10 minutes footage of that whenever I was filming the paint job. And I just kept applying and applying the gold paint for the tiles, losing track of time. Painted! This side I'm just going to not have it showing, so it will not look as good, but I only care about this side, that one and that one. So let's let it dry before decorating the tiles. I needed to do 2 layers of the tiles paint job, and now I have emptied this. It was full of this pink and red rhinestones that I'm going to put all over the tiles. This time the process is simpler because I do not have to consider light up features for that, because it would be impossible to add them in, because after realizing it the next day, because the brain cells when you wake up are freshly ready to be more creative and more logical. So that's what happens to my brain cells after a good night's sleep. They get regenerated into something better. So let's add them in, and good thing I've done the light up feature. And the tiles, it was more complicated to do the tiles on this stove because of the light up feature that I wanted, but I'm still happy it worked the way I hoped it would work. But yet, you know. So let's also use some red sequins. I'm going to trim them a little. Also add strawberries to it. I just realized Chloe the Fizzy Cat has some of those sequins that I need inside her body. So that's what I'm doing. And for that hole in that, I'm going to fill it up with a red bead like this, so nobody has to know. And let's get more glue onto it. add another strawberry one. It does not have to be translucent that time because it is not going to have a light up feature on that part because it's my thing and I decide what to do with it. There would be rhinestones in there too, so I'm picking out of here to add them in. And some of those red ones, it's going to take a while. So I constantly have to move my camera angle so I can do it comfortably. So just searching for this sequin. Let's trim it a little. And let's also add that bead there. And wow. It's starting to take its shape. Now I need some black marker. And I'm going to just keep on adding and adding them in, but this hole here also needs to be filled with, yes, another red bead. Just need to fill them up with something. And let's just get this. Here we go. I'm actually really enjoying this. Although it takes a lot of time, but in a relaxing way. So, let's also get that bead in. And here's another. And keep going until you finish it. Adding all those fruit details to the tiling took a while, but it was all worth it. So that's what I've done, and I did let it dry. Now the oven part of it needs attention. So there's some tea leftovers inside it, which I'm going to just paint with on the interior of the oven. Just going to paint that with that. Being careful not to ruin anything. So I'm just adding the paint job over it all. And once that is done, I have found this unfinished piping. So I'm going to also add a shelf into it. So I have found this piece of plastic that I will glue inside. So I lifted this up and I'm going to insert that into it, hoping it will work. There we go. That shelf is inserted into the oven. Now that has to dry, but yet I would add a piece of red organza fabric for the window of this oven, or maybe a piece of plastic. Inserting a piece of plastic it is. So let's just glue that on. And let's get that into it. And there we go. That needs to dry. But yet, let's just add another bow, like this one, to decorate it with. Because I want the whole theme to match. Everything committed to the theme of the stove and oven combination. And there we go. Time to let it dry. Await the oven. I'm waiting on pink LED lights to come, but smaller size, because I also want that to light up, just like this one. So there would be options for this little stove and oven combo. I pulled out the yellow LED lights for the prototype. It's only going to be temporary because I'm going to be using pink instead of yellow. But yet I just want to see how it will look together. And to be honest, the pink and the yellow, looks quite amazing actually. Not going to lie, but it looks better than I thought it would look. Although the pink is still ordering, but Maybe I'll just use it for something else because I actually like that color combination. Well, what about I should do it actually? Actually do this. So maybe I'll just cut that plastic a little bit. And I'm going to work on the inside of it. So let's just put that in here. Where should I put it where I could be able to get the batteries for it? I know. Maybe here. And insert the LED lights through it. So could light up, and I can always use pink for something else because I actually think the yellow in it would look good in there too. So that's why, although it was only meant to be a prototype, but it's going into the actual product. So here we go. A light up oven, and it looks actually more oven-like, like this. But I will have to make it blend in. Maybe I'll just remove that sticker from it to make it work. Because I want everything in it to look seamless. So now let's use glue to glue the battery pack on. So let's just glue it on. And let's also fix that. And we're going to let it dry. Wait, I could just get the flap of the battery pack, and I'm going to turn that into tiles. Why not? And the LED lights still work. So there's going to be a repaint of that, so let's get that there, and let's get the paint on the flap of this and paint it white before anything else. going to have to let that dry. Let's also get the Goldequirk paint on it too. The lights, I hope they will still work. They will. It's just the flap to keep the battery secure in there. Paint that onto it. So I can tile it later because it does have to dry overnight. Just a thing to consider with this. Because I actually do like the pink and yellow together as a color combination, and the yellow feels more oven-like, so that's why I choose it. But time to let it dry. Oh wait, there's another part I'm going to paint with the Goldequirk paint. There. Edges. Trying to avoid the batteries. Painting the batteries because what if I accidentally paint the batteries? Just don't want to risk anything, you know. So there we go. Now we're going to have to let it all dry. And yes, this battery pack will be permanent LED lights in there. And this will have to be covered up with something. And I have just the thing for it, that flower to cover the wire up with. But yet, how will I avoid it touching the cable? So to avoid it touching the cable, I'm going to place piece of fabric and some wool to prevent it from touching the wire, because I want it to work. Thank you very much. I want it to work, so that's why I'm doing this. And let's cut that very, very carefully. There we go. And let's put the rose on top of this. Like this. It will have to dry, so that's what I have to consider for it. And let's let it dry now. After that dried overnight, I added the details. The oven can still open, and I'm just pushing that in, and I glued a big flower to try to hide the wires. And let's now test if it works, and it works. And that's the part 2 done. So Chef Jax, what do you think of the stove and the oven together? Please tell me in the comments. As well as the lit up version, because the lit up version is actually amazing. And I really do like the pink and yellow color combination. I thought I wouldn't like it that much, but it really suits it. So here's the secret in the wardrobe. That's not a secret anymore, but you know. I really enjoyed making this oven and stove. And bye, Chef Jax. See you in another video. Bye.